Hi, this is Eric Metcalf, and you're watching The Unhappy Hour.
Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, California, Los Angeles to be specific. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Unhappy Hour here on the TNAM Sports Network. My name's Brian Engelman. I am your host. And look what happened today. The Cleveland Cavaliers came out and played like they're capable of playing. I know it was kind of a close game. We only won by 30 points. And this is what the Cavaliers are capable of doing if they play with this intensity and focus every game. The question becomes, what type of team is this Cavalier team? And I guess it's on a night-to-night basis. Are you playing at home? Are you playing away? Are you playing the Pacers? Are you playing the Raptors? Who knows? But we're going up against a Celtics team missing Gordon Hayward, missing Kyrie Irving. But luckily, Jason Tatum has watched Kobe Bryant's critique on him 25 times. Okay, this has never been confirmed. Nobody actually counted the 25 times. It's just a story, and everybody's repeating it. And I'm getting tired of hearing it. The lead story on ESPN, being mentioned multiple times during the broadcast of the game. Enough. He said that you're pointing your toe one direction when you're in this sort of circumstance and trying to drive to the hole. So what? What you're witnessing right now, and we're all witnesses, LeBron James is the Tom Brady of the NFL. LeBron James picks apart the other team. If you didn't watch this game, you need to go back and watch, find a feed. Find a recap site where you can watch the extended highlights of this game. LeBron James, the passes that he had, absolutely incredible. The tip-ins that he had, the alley-oop dunks that he made, the cuts off the ball, the passes to people who were cutting off the ball, the times LeBron would drive full speed to the hoop, jump up, spin around, and rifle a perfect pass to a three-point shooter to knock down a shot on the outside. You are witnessing the greatest player who's ever played the game of basketball at the peak of his powers. Although we've said that LeBron was at the peak of his powers years ago. We wondered if Miami got peak LeBron. Guess what? Miami did not get peak LeBron. And of course, as a Cleveland Cavalier fan, I'm going to hope that LeBron re-signs in Cleveland. We get some additional players to help the team next year. I think LeBron can be on a championship contending team for the next 5 to 10 years. I think he could play till he's 50 years old. His game will change, but he's going to be just as effective in his role. Which is why I thought it was so stupid that Kyrie Irving ran out of town, demanded to be traded. It's like, dude, just bide your time. Play with greatness. Do your thing. Whatever. What am I supposed to do at this point? I can't talk about it. I did want to mention something. William Iaconis, he actually just commented in the group here. But I did want to read what he said. He wanted to remind everybody that Boston leads the league in most consecutive seasons with at least one man bun on their active roster. It still cracks me up to say. Boston is well coached. Boston has talent. Boston is missing their two superstars. I don't know how we got blown out the way that we did in those first two games. I mean, the question comes down to, and it's one of these conspiratorial questions. I get it, but it's kind of fun to think about because, come on, Tim Donaghy got the NBA ref got busted for point shaving and fixing games and stuff. Let's not pretend that this isn't what it is. Let's not talk about Michael Jordan going to play baseball for 2 years right around the time his dad's killed. That has nothing to do with the gambling that he's doing. Let's not talk about the frozen lottery pick where Patrick Ewing went to the Knicks. Look, sports is sometimes WWE scripted drama mixed with a competitive situation. So I get that. But, what if? I posed the question the other day, why didn't LeBron James talk to Jay-Z to make sure that the Brooklyn Nets tanked a few more games in the last 2 months of the year? You're telling me he couldn't funnel some money from Nike, that $1 billion contract, over to his pal Jay-Z to make sure that the coach plays some of the crappy players or that some of the crappy players play worse so we can get a higher draft pick than number 8 in the upcoming. Okay, look, I get that these are ridiculous concepts to talk about, but I like talking about them. They're more fun. I'm not saying that I believe it. I'm saying that it's interesting to think about. By the way, if you're watching on this camera, thank you. Click subscribe. It's the youtube.com/TheNewAmericanMedia channel. We have 7 years of content: sports, politics, music, spirituality, all over the place. Subscribe, leave some comments, check out some of our more popular videos, leave some of your thoughts there. Let the advertisements play. It's like tossing a couple pennies in our wishing well. If you're watching on this camera, you're on Facebook.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. I think specifically if you're on this, it's a private Facebook group called The Unhappy Hour Sports Show, a support group. If you're not a member, join the group. We ask if you're an Indians, Cavs, Browns, or Buckeye fan. But for the past 7 years, we've had a lot of conversations about Michael Jordan and why he really left the NBA. Really, you're just going to leave at the peak of your powers to go hit a buck 38 down with a minor league team for the Chicago Black Sox. Give me a break. Yeah, I call them the Black Sox. You should watch 8 Men Out if you haven't seen that movie before. It's a good one. About shoeless Joe Jackson, whose numbers did not show that he was throwing the games. However, the bookies and the mobsters were definitely deep into that team. I like talking about the sports conspiracies. I like talking about the theories, the rumors. I mean, is it possible that the Cavs tanked a couple games to make this series go 6 or 7 games? I mean, look, anything's possible. But look, I played tennis. I was captain of my tennis team, of all things. I played intramural basketball, won a championship. That was pretty cool. I was the starting defensive end on a team that went undefeated my junior year and senior year. Went 24-2 in my junior and senior year out of 20 games. 10-0, 10-0. I've played in a lot of competitive environments, in a lot of competitive sports, and there's just a lot that's left up to chance. So I'm not going to necessarily say that I think it's possible or likely or even probable that, the series is being artificially extended a little bit. I thought the Cavs were going to sweep the Celtics, honestly. That was my prediction, Cavs in 4. I would have predicted Cavs in 3 if I could have. But I didn't. I picked Cavs in 4, and I mean, we got punched in the teeth 2 games in a row. We let that second game slip away. We had it. LeBron took a really hard foul that may or may not have been a concussion. They said he strained his neck. Whatever the case may be. But you watch the Cavs dominate by 30 points tonight, and you go, this Celtics team, they don't even belong in the same gymnasium with them. Now, obviously, I understand we're down 1 game to 2. 1 game to 2. I get that. But in theory, this shouldn't even be close. This should have been a 3-game sweep out of 4. I'm going to go to a comment or a question over here. I got Robert Carr. What's up, man? Rob saying the GOAT at it again. Are they really missing their superstars? Tatum and Brown are both going to be way better than Hayward. Kyrie could be sent away like Isaiah. Rozier showing he can play ball. Oh, there we go. I had to click the button. Showing he can ball, and they got 2 max kids, Tatum and Brown, that play both ends and are not fragile. How do you feel? Oh, there's a little bit to unpack there. Whew. It's interesting when you're talking about the Boston Celtics. You see Danny Ainge. He's an astute. Remember, Danny Ainge is the guy that after Hakeem Olajuwon dunked on him, he took the ball out of bounds and launched it. Who is it? Mario Ellie right into his face from about this far away. He's a pretty bold person, a pretty brash competitor. And we saw how they did Isaiah Thomas dirty. But did they do him dirty? They're just making a business decision. I mean, we got the bum end of that deal. I was hoping he was going to... I mean, imagine if we got an Isaiah Thomas that was an MVP candidate last year, coming back off of an injury. Let's imagine he's a good locker room guy to team him up with Kevin Love and LeBron James. Now you got a totally different team. So the production tonight that we got out of George Hill, I got to say, really strong production out of George Hill. He came out in that first quarter, dominated. First 5 game, it was all George Hill, and we needed it. But back to Danny Ainge for a second. Danny Ainge has already proven he will trade Kevin Garnett. Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, he'll make big trades. He'll trade players to the Nets. Oh, Russian oligarch, Russian investor, owner of the Nets. Sure, we'll send you these 2 amazing Hall of Fame players. We just need your draft picks for the next 75 years. Deal? They took it. Actually, speaking of sports and all that jazz, back in high school, I had an economics teacher, and we were talking about contracts and who's worth it. Is X player worth this contract that they signed? And the answer comes down to, he wanted to know a yes or a no, a binary answer, yes or no, 1 or 0. Is this player worth this contract? But you need to give the answer, and you need to say why. And so, yes, but this what reason? No, but this reason. Everybody kind of got their turn. I think my answer was something like, well, yes, I do think this player deserves this contract, because if he generates the ad revenue there's more people willing to advertise because more eyeballs are on the game, and they're selling more merchandise, and they're selling more parking passes, and they're selling more pretzels and hot dogs and sweatshirts, then it's going to be worth it. They said, wrong. My economics teacher said the player is worth that contract. Yes, is the answer. And the why is because someone was willing to pay it. Someone was willing to pay it. And so when you're looking at these teams, and when you're looking at the situation that Danny Ainge is in with the Celtics, and you look at Kyrie Irving, you look at Gordon Hayward, and you look at how he ditched Isaiah Thomas, and how Brad Stevens is seemingly able to get the most value out of limited resources, I wouldn't be surprised to see Gordon Hayward or Kyrie Irving or both of them moved for 7,500 more draft picks. And keep building that way. Trust the process, right? I don't know. I don't know if you move Tatum. I don't know if you move Kyrie. He's got 1 year left on his contract after this, and he's an often injured player, but he's got a big name pedigree. He has a big name persona. He's got his movie coming out in a month. Hit the most clutch shot in all of NBA history. Maybe that's who they move. Maybe I put it this way. I expect the Celtics to make a big move in the offseason. Now, maybe that's the understatement of the year, and I'm not really saying much there. But I expect it to happen. Now, the Cavaliers are 7 games away from another championship, from their second ever championship. I know that's a weird way to phrase it, because as of yesterday, the entire sports media world, the entire sports media landscape was convincing you that this is the end for LeBron James in Cleveland. Oh, the Cavs blew it. Oh, this was Dan Gilbert's failure. Oh, why didn't he sign David Griffin? And this rookie GM, Kobe Altman, came in and made a horrible trade for Isaiah Thomas. We got all these spare parts back. And look, some of that is true, but we don't know what we're getting out of our number 8 pick. Are we going to parlay that into some sort of trade for, fill in the blanks? We could play the trade game all day. I've been saying it for a long time. Larry Nance Jr. needs to be getting some playing time. Tristan Thompson, thank you. Why were you treating him with baby gloves for 2 months of the season, 3 months? I don't care what he's going through. Put him on the court. He's making $60, $80 million, whatever that damn contract is. The game is different with Tristan Thompson in the middle. You can jack up more goofy shots because he's going to tip it back. He's going to get the rebound. He's going to extend the play. He's going to get fouls on the other team. You need Tristan Thompson. But you need another player that's big, that's going to be down low, that's going to have some sort of a presence. And honestly, that guy is Larry Nance. He has active hands. He's always getting steals. Larry Nance is always getting steals and rebounds. Great on the pick and roll, catch and dunk. and you put the pressure on the defense, and the defense is going to commit fouls. Then you're in the bonus, and then there you go. By the way, Tristan Thompson, good job at the free throw line tonight. Really impressive. I'm not kidding. Like, you're actually really good. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I will pull these up for a second here. By the way, if you're watching on Facebook Live, leave your comments below. I'm going to try to get to them. Sometimes Facebook is weird. It doesn't tell me everybody that's watching, and I'll do the best that I can here. But I want to take a look at the box score because I think you can unpack quite a bit. You know, I guess Kobe Bryant's help really did a good job for Jason Tatum. 18 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Really, the next superstar in this league, Jason Tatum. We must bow to Jason Tatum because Kobe Bryant did something that he watched 25 times, allegedly. 18 points. 6 of 10 shooting. Led their team. Terry Rozier with 13, Jaylen Brown with 10, Greg Monroe with 10, Morris with 9. I mean, come on. We held this team to 86 points. We blew them out of the gym by 30. Now to the Cavs. I'll get to the Cavs in a second. I want to address the question. Robert is saying they're not really limited resources. They're all first-rounders. Rozier, Tatum, Brown, Morris, Smart. Yep. Boston did a pretty clever rebuild. I mean, they traded players at their peak for tons of assets. And that's paying dividends. Look, more power to them, right? Got no love for this damn Celtics team. Look, and I've said this before. This Boston Celtics team, if Glenn Big Baby Davis doesn't intentionally injure Shaquille O'Neal, back when LeBron was first with the Cavaliers, that team was clicking on all cylinders. We win the NBA championship that year. Hands down. It totally played out differently because they're dirty. Kelly Olynyk, 2015, intentionally rips the shoulder out of the socket of Kevin Love. I mean, we took the Warriors to 6 games missing Kyrie and Love. Just imagine what would have happened if we would have had him healthy. I got no love for this Celtics team. And by the way, now that Gregory Moore is watching over here, what's up, buddy? In the Facebook group. Michael Rappaport, you clown. I hope you're going to stick to your prediction that you're running LeBron James out of town right into Los Angeles. If there's one guy that irks me more than Michael Rappaport, I'd like to see him. I mean, Stephen A. Smith does his shtick. I get it. Skip Bayless, he does his shtick. I get it. Rappaport might be the most annoying personality out there. But I digress. What's up, Greg? I know he's a big fan of Rappaport. You know, the rumors of this team's demise were greatly exaggerated. And we're not done yet. Hopefully we're just getting started. I want to talk about the team that everybody was writing off for dead. Just goner. For dead. Kyle Korver in 20 minutes put in 14 points. 4 of 4 from the three-point line. He would have been 5 for 5 if they would have counted that one that they waved off, by the way. Larry Nance, 4 for 4 from the field. 8 points in 21 minutes. Strong. So I kind of like what they did here. They gave Tristan 23 minutes. They gave Larry Nance Jr. 21 minutes. Tristan gave you 10 points, 7 rebounds. Nance gave you 8 points and 6 rebounds. Greg Moore in the chat room. Rappaport is the worst. He's nothing without Dan Corsese. Rock and jock. But you need Tristan down there banging away. By the way, if you combine what Tristan did, that would be 7 rebounds. And if you combine That with Larry Nance's 6 rebounds, that still doesn't match what Kevin Love did. Kevin Love put in 30 minutes, gave you 14 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, 13 points. Did not have a great night shooting the ball, but on this night, you didn't need Kevin Love to do that. Even just having Kevin Love out there, I mean, you saw what Brad Stevens did. I don't know if you watched the game or not. The Celtics had to go and change their lineup. What was it, 4 minutes into the game, 5 minutes into the game, a few minutes into the game? They had to go bigger. They had to bring in that bum off the bench. Aaron Baines. Because between Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson, we were owning the boards. That's how we beat the Warriors. Now, I know Mozgov was in there, and that was that whole part, but 14 rebounds for Kevin Love, 13 between Larry Nance Jr. and Tristan Thompson combined. Rounding out LeBron James' worst ever team he's ever been on. You know, Love gave you 13, Tristan gave you 10. George Hill, difference maker, played fantastic tonight, 13 points. J.R. Smith gave you 11. Aaron Olynyk Baines. Greg in the chat room's funny. Once again, The Unhappy Hour Sports Show, a support group. It's a private Facebook group. Invite all your Cavs fans in. Yeah, Aaron Olynyk Baines. It's like, it really is. It's like have you ever seen the movie Multiplicity? Multiplicity is with Michael Keaton. And I remember this one part where it says, so he's making clones. And then he's making clones of himself to kind of help around the house and to do the work. And anyway, he makes a clone of a clone. And hi, Steve. He's not really smart. He's not really with it. And the line is something like, have you ever tried to make a copy of a document? You make a copy of a copy. Then you make a copy of a copy of a copy. And it's not quite so sharp. Yeah, here's number 3. Hi, Steve. Aaron Olynyk Baines. Yeah, Aaron Baines. He's like a poor man's Kelly Olynyk. He was a bum when he started, and he's still a bum 3 generations, 4 generations of copies later. Greg, when are we doing our show? Greg Moore is saying Michael Keaton barely beat out Michael Rappaport for that role. That's funny. What was that movie he was in where he got bitten in half by a shark? That's like the one line you always show me. Sasha Pavlovich would have scored 14. Nice. Robert Carr in the chat room saying Brad Stevens, great system, but good players, not great. Couple are above average, but F Boston. Cavs win 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, I think so too. Close it out on the home court. No need for a game 7. That's what I'm hoping for too. Cavs in 6. And if you're on our Instagram page, Instagram.com/TheUnhappyHour, it's all sports. Sometimes we put our sports on the other one, Instagram.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. Politics, sports, current events, whatever. We had Abraham Lincoln with this famous quote, because you can believe everything you read online in a meme or on the internet. He said Cavs in 6. So Abraham Lincoln said Cavs in 6. But I just wanted to point out that the Cavaliers were well-rounded tonight. And really, I just for 1 second here. Greg Moore saying Deep Blue Sea was the name of the Michael Rappaport classic. In the 15th season, we're not just saying that LeBron James played more minutes than anyone else on his team. He played more minutes than anybody on either team. Highest on the Celtics was 31 minutes. LeBron put in 38. This dude is in his 15th season. He's played in Olympics. He's done Sprite commercials looking like Raleigh Fingers. He's done that movie with Amy Schumer. That the only reason I watched it was for LeBron James. Another Olympics and then another Olympics. All the All-Star games. Deep runs into the NBA Finals for, 7 years in a row? How many years total? LeBron has logged more miles than almost anybody you can imagine. He's still putting in 38 minutes. 8 of 12 from field goal range. 3 of 3 from the three-point line. I shared something in the Unhappy Hour group on Facebook. It was LeBron James taking shots. At practice, I think he nailed 12 straight three-pointers, and you're going, he could have taken more today, but instead he wanted to have 12 assists. He wanted to dish it out 12 times. And these passes were high-level, high degree of difficulty passes. Threading the needle, wrap around, literally jumping up in midair and launching these shots. Wait, who just gave me the angry face? How'd I get an angry face on my Facebook page? Tell me why you typed an angry face. LeBron James is an absolute monster. Witnessing greatness. Please enjoy. Plus 31 on the court tonight. 27 points, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 12 assists, 5 rebounds. 8 of 10 from the free throw line, 3 of 3 from the three-point line, 8 of 12 overall. Greg is saying he needs more gambling debt to be the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Look, LeBron James could probably have about 8 to 10 MVPs, honestly. 8 to 10 MVPs. Not even as a homer. You know, I couldn't stand the guy when he went and played for that team down south. But he's clearly been the best player for at least a decade. Every single year he's played. Nobody can do what he does. Nobody in the history of the game has a more complete, well-rounded game, along with multiple championship pedigree than this guy does. Just enjoy this. I know he whines and cries, but dude gets hit in the face about 10 times a game when they're not called fouls. He really could be on the free throw line nonstop. So yeah, it's whiny, it's cry, fine. I became a Dallas Mavalier. Remember that? I mean, nobody rooted against the Miami Heat like I did back in the day. But you're witnessing greatness. Yes, you're right, Greg. He was never unanimous. Steph Curry, unanimous MVP. So, all right, here's another question. James Harden. Are they going to give James Harden the MVP? Or are they going to recognize greatness and look at the body of work? Even in the regular season, LeBron James crushed James Harden. And LeBron James had so many highlight reel moments. I sure hope he gets the MVP. I know it doesn't matter, but come on, it matters when you're comparing trophies and hardware against Michael Jordan. You see that stupid meme where it's championship trophies, MVP trophies, All-Star Game MVP trophies, and you're like, LeBron has been shafted on about 8 of those MVP trophies. Gave it to the never before unanimous MVP vote to Steph Curry, and the Cavs beat him, come back from a 3-1 deficit. You're witnessing greatness, guys, and I'm so thrilled to be here as a Cleveland Cavalier fan. Robert in the chat room is saying 10 to 12 MVPs. Harden has thousands of more free throws over the last 5 years. 5,000. Okay, I don't have the stat in front of me, but you're saying over the past 5 years, James Harden has literally thousands more free throws. So that's about 1,000 extra free throws per year. I see LeBron get hit in the face or the shoulders or the body aggressively at least 5 to 15 times every single game that are not called. Oh, yeah, I know. He flops. Oh, he flops. Oh, he whines. He complains. Because they're not calling the fouls against him. Greg in the chat room is saying, yes, Rockets had the best record. They'll give Harden the MVP. No! Not the bearded one. We'll see. LeBron James has never played all 82 games in his 15-year storied career. He played all 82 this year. in year 15. No, I know, Rob. I buy it. I believe with you. I'm checking the stat, and I did see it. It came across. It was either in our Facebook group or on the Instagram page or both. I did see just the wide discrepancy of fouls called. He does get hammered, and so while I was a Dallas Mavalier fan, maybe I was able to get into the hating LeBron thing, and he's a whiner, he's a crybaby, he's a flopper. Okay. But nobody takes an abuse. I mean, is there another player, and this will be a question in the YouTube page, if you can leave your comments at the end of the YouTube channel, in the YouTube comments section, rather. Is there a player besides Shaquille O'Neal that would be consistently more fouled with fewer fouls actually called than LeBron James? I know it happened to Shaq a lot, and they got into their hack-a-Shaq thing, and that's a separate thing. Has there ever been a player who deserved more free throws called and had a lower percentage of them actually getting called? Once a Mavalier, always a Mavalier. Nice. What's up, Mark? Welcome to the group. If you have any questions, type them below. So look, LeBron James, you're witnessing greatness. Enjoy this. I really hope he plays till he's 50 years old in Cleveland. I hope Bronny comes and plays for the Cavs. His kid in 5 years. 6 years, 7 years, whatever it is. We have the best player in the league on our team. We have the best player in the history of the game on our team. Don't believe the hype that LeBron by a bunch of bums. LeBron has people that can give you 13, 10, 13, 11, 14. And Rodney Hood refusing to come into the game. Did not play coach's decision. Greg saying Dan Cortese and Rock and Jock. Hacka Cortese. Once a Mavalier, always a Mavalier. That's great. So anyway, Cavs win 116-86. Blow them out of the gym by 30 points. The question of the day, leave it in the comments section. Is there a player who has taken more consistent fouls and had fewer fouls called against them than LeBron James? I would argue no. But if you have some, leave them in the comments section. I could be wrong. And in the chat room, if you think Dan Cortese, he was not even in Rock and Jock. Remember when MTV was relevant? I feel like it's a South Park. Member berries. Do you remember when? It's actually hard to remember the NBA without LeBron James. Now, Michael Jordan ripped out my heart multiple times. I mean, Allen Iverson and Charles Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon, Pippen, Rodman, David Robinson, Chris Webber, Shaq, Penny Hardaway. I love basketball. So something you guys might not know about me. I used to go. I'm trying to remember how many years it was. At least 2 years, maybe 3 years. 2 years. I used to leave high school, junior, senior year, whatever time we got out, and then I would go right across the parking lot and go to the rec center and play basketball for hours. Every day, every week. I loved basketball. I mean, I still do. I mean, come on. Of course I do. But even thinking of like the Tim Hardaway days, go back and thinking of these great teams. Obviously, Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing, all that stuff. Larry Johnson, remember that? It is really hard for me to remember the NBA without LeBron James. A decade and a half pretty much dominating. At least a decade. Maybe 12 years dominating. It's hard to remember an NBA without. And I followed the NBA. I followed Jason Kidd. I loved Isaiah Ryder. The Timberwolves. Man, I liked all those teams. Mark Price, Brad Daugherty, Larry Nance. I love those teams. But it's like, when I think of the NBA, I don't think of the logo Jerry West. I don't think of Michael Jordan and his gambling. I think of LeBron James. He's earned it. Nobody's had a more storied career than LeBron James, the greatest of all time. Yes, Glenn Rice. What's up, Kyra? What's up, Greg? Looking in the chat room here. Greg said, once again, back to the Michael Rappaport. Hey, are we going to start an official bit, like a Twitter beef? Like a Facebook beef with Rappaport? Isn't he officially with... No, he got fired from Barstool Sports. And who is Barstool Sports, by the way? I over the past year, I've seen a lot of Barstool Sports stuff. And I see the CEO or the head of that group eating pizza, doing pizza reviews or something. It's like they fired Michael Rappaport because he was bashing the Barstool brand. And now they hired Johnny Manziel. I mean, is this like a Celebrity Apprentice? Like, I don't know. What are we doing at Barstool? There's that one guy. What's that guy's name? Pat something? He does like the fake announcing, where it's like the announcer that cusses a lot. That's kind of funny. But where did Barstool Sports come from? Where did their funding come from? Where did their money come from to build their thing? Because that's what we're ready to do here at the Unhappy Hour. That's what we're ready to do with the Unhappy Hour. I'm just trying to figure out, where does this funding come from? And I don't have a beef with Barstool Sports, unless it's going to lead to higher ratings, in which case, then fine, bring it. I thought that last pizza review was actually really hilarious. You had the crazy people yelling at you, and it's like 5 minutes in, you still couldn't even give a review on the pizza. It was really funny. I liked that part. I like that not Pat McGroin. What's the guy? What's the guy's name? Pat McAfee or something? Where he does the fake announcing. And it's like, those are pretty funny. But yeah, severing ties with Michael Rappaport. Kudos. Good work there. Greg saying Rappaport is still living off of MTV being relevant. Shaq and LeBron are just such physical freaks that when they get fouled, it doesn't faze them most of the time. You're right. And they pay for it. People like Shaq, people like LeBron, they pay for excellence. Everybody gets a trophy now, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, they don't get phased like other players do. But it doesn't mean that it shouldn't be called. I know it'll slow the game down, but you got to protect your star players anyway. And a foul is a foul. So, anyway. Yes, Glenn Rice. Are we just talking about, what is it, 1991 Fleer? What are the cards with the Glenn Rice rookie card? That David Robinson was in that? Was it 91 Fleer with the gray borders? I don't think it was 92. I don't think it was 93. It wasn't 90. I'm talking 91 Fleer. Bitcoin. Greg is saying Barstool is a bunch of dudes like us. Yeah, but they clearly have funding. They clearly have a team of people that they're rocking and rolling with. I juggle what I do. And yes, I have 100 awesome admins. You guys are the best. You guys and girls are just magnifique. But I mean, it's different to go into an office and you have 20 people working there. And you point and you have your conference meetings and you have an agenda. You go through your stuff and everybody's doing their job. that's the dream. That's the vision I have for the Unhappy Hour and for the New American Media in general. So I'm curious as to how they got their funding, where they got it from. Now they're paying Johnny Manziel. And look, Johnny Manziel set our franchise back. By the way, Johnny Manziel decided to sign in the Canadian Football League with, let me see here. Who did he sign with? Some nobody. I don't know, the Tiger Cats or something. Well, they don't even tell you in here. He signed with the CFL. Dude, Dan Marley, good call. I just brought up Dan Marley the other day. No, I was right. The Hamilton Tiger Cats. Thought it was going to be the Rough Riders for sure. He signed a 2-year contract with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. But then he also signed a deal with Barstool Sports to do like a behind the scenes, like a reality show. Okay. You know, I root for laundry. I do. I root for laundry. So when Johnny Manziel was drafted by the Browns, you know, good. I hope this works out. It didn't. He set our franchise back, paved the way for 0-16. I don't know that we have 0-16 without Johnny Manziel. Maybe we have Brian Hoyer in the playoffs. Who knows? But I will say it's good to see somebody who's been through some stuff trying to put it back together. You know, I do remember that story a couple weeks ago though, where he had a reaction to some sort of prescribed medication. I don't know if you guys remember this. You know, I'm not even going to look up the story, but it was a couple of weeks ago. Johnny Manziel had some sort of negative reaction to a prescribed painkiller, or what was it? A prescription. It wasn't Zoloft. You know what? I'm sorry, guys. I do have to look it up because I want to get this right. I'm going to look Johnny Manziel overdose. What's it say? There we go. Well, okay, I had it right. A reaction to... Former NFL quarterback Johnny Manziel was hospitalized Monday. That would be May 8th, so right before May 8th, for a reaction to a prescription. On Instagram, Manziel noted, "Thank you for your concern and kind messages. Unfortunately, I had a reaction to an increased dosage in lithium." That's what it was. I knew it wasn't Zoloft. Lithium, the Nirvana song, which I take for my bipolar disorder. It was a scary moment, and I'm especially grateful for the staff of the hospital and all they've done in the past 24 hours. This person is guessing he intentionally took too much or drank some booze with the drugs. All right, so look, I don't know how much of a train wreck this human being is. I'm not going to root for him to fail miserably and die. That would be horrible. I think he's got some demons that are attached to him. You know, I like a good redemption story as much as the next person. There's a lot of gray area when it comes to life, and there's a lot of mistakes and a lot of screw-ups, a lot of things people wish they could take back, wish they could undo, wish they could do a little bit differently. They have the hindsight of some wisdom behind them. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. I get all that stuff. So look, if this guy goes on to have a Warren Moon-style Canadian Football League career, comes in and plays like Doug Flutie with the Bills, you know, comes in and plays in the NFL. I mean, more power to him. So, anyway, he teamed up with Barstool Sports. They're doing like a behind the scenes, celebrity rehab kind of thing. It really is. It's a celebrity rehab kind of thing. So I got to dig in and find out what Barstool Sports is all about. I'm just curious because they've kind of jumped on the scene. I like the stuff we're doing. I like how we have different groups. We have TNAM Humor, TNAM Sports, Agree to Disagree for Politics. We're kind of all split up with the New American Media, but that's why it's important. We hope that you guys will follow us. Contribute if you want to. We have a patreon.com site. It's patreon.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. You can assist us with monthly donations if you like. Helps cover the overhead. Helps us expand our operations. Facebook.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. Private group, The Unhappy Hour Sports Show, a support group. On Twitter, we're at American_media_. TNAM Gardening, yes! Dude, thank you for bringing that up. That was on the tip of my tongue. I was going to say TNAM Gardening. I have a whole series that I'm coming out with. Easy Does It and Easy Gardening. I love gardening. I love growing food. I love plants and planting. I've been running a short story here, and it may be just a little advertisement for the series because it is coming up. I have a container garden of about 150 potted plants, as well as some like in-ground citrus, lemon, lime, orange, grapefruit. And I've turned my backyard area into a nursery. So we've put a couple hundred plants all over the community in their backyard areas to spruce it up. Automatic drip irrigation systems. The long-term plan is to make it so that all the residents can have access to space where they can grow food and make it easy. So yes, TNAM Gardening is a group, and I love TNAM Gardening. More is coming on TNAM Gardening, I swear to you. But yeah, youtube.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. That's currently like the only way we make money. It used to be really good before the adpocalypse, and then they changed what they did. So they basically determined if you cover current events or politics, they're going to demonetize you and shadow ban you or flag your account. So I've been doing a lot more sports now. But maybe the sports has always been a Trojan horse for the other stuff. And maybe it's going to continue to be that way. Or maybe I like sports better. Because we can debate, who's the GOAT? You know what's interesting about the greatest of all time conversation, by the way? I find it interesting that out of all this time, we've pretty much, as a nation, as a world, as a planet, a galaxy, we've pretty much narrowed the greatest of all time conversation. We've gotten rid of Bill Russell. We've gotten rid of, I don't know, who else was on that list? Magic, Kareem. Who else was on that greatest of all time list? It's pretty much down to a binary choice, LeBron or Jordan. LeBron's going to play for another 10 to 15 years. Mark my words. I know he could go retire tomorrow, and Michael Rappaport will sure have a field day with this clip. But I really do. I think LeBron James could play till he's 50 years old. He's got size. He's got conditioning. He has smarts. He could be valuable for any championship team for the next 10, 15 years. But out of all the players that have played the game, we've narrowed it down to either Jordan or LeBron. That's impressive. We've come this far. I don't see anybody with a realistic comparison that can try to claim anybody else is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. So I think that's pretty impressive. I think that's great. And I think it's great you guys are checking out what we're doing here. So stay tuned. Stay connected with us. Link up at all the places: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Patreon.com. I got some big plans, and I've had some big plans. I'm in year 7 of the 10-year plan. Now, I always remember one of my favorite bands, Incubus. They did an article with whatever magazine, I don't know, Rolling Stone or whoever. And someone called them an overnight success. And they said something along the lines of, yeah, overnight. If by overnight you mean the past 7 years. Yeah, we got popular overnight after 7 years of hard work. So I'm really looking forward to the Unhappy Hour breaking through some barriers, exploding exponentially, and being a part of that journey with all of you guys and girls out there. The New American Media is the main site where all this happens, TheNewAmericanMedia.com. That's the main place, and all the rest is an offshoot of it. So, Cavaliers win tonight by 30 points. Celtics currently lead 2-1. Cavs play again. What is it, Monday or Tuesday? Doggone it. I knew this, now I gotta double check it. They play again on... Sorry, I just like getting this stuff correct. And I don't have a producer. I don't have a whole group of people. All right, yeah, so they play Monday at 5:30 Pacific time at Cleveland. Warriors, Rockets tomorrow. Rockets are up 2-1. So, anyhow, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. We'll talk again soon. Go Cavs. Great all-around performance tonight. The King with a fantastic game, and the rest of the players on the team did their jobs. Don't tell me this is a garbage team. Don't tell me Dan Gilbert goes into the luxury tax every year to bring in absolute scrubs. This is a good team. This is a team that can win an NBA championship if they play at this level tonight. If they play at this level, we can take down any team. No other team has a player as good as LeBron James, period. You might get close, but nobody has LeBron James. And nobody can get out of the other players what LeBron James can get out of his players around him. Nobody. So, first things first. We're 7 games away from winning a championship. First things first, let's tie this up with another win. Make it 2-2. Heading into Boston, see if we can steal that one. And then wrap it up in 6. That's my game plan. That's the hope. I'm Brian Engelman. I'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Peace.